Hi there. Thank you very much for checking out my video on The Beginner's Guide. My name is Danahan and I create videos discussing games like The Beginner's Guide. While my videos do normally end up being pretty absurd, today I want to take a step back and I want to take a serious look at The Beginner's Guide, a game created by Davey. His games have always meant a lot to me and have really impacted me in ways that are hard to put into words. I first stumbled across his first game, The Stanley Parable, back in late 2013, it must have been. It was right around the time I was struggling through the first real breakup of my life. I was in a very dark place when it happened. His work pointed me in a very powerful direction. It completely changed how I looked at games, and made me even question what a game could be. The Beginner's Guide is a thing that exists that I find really hard to explain. The only way I can really recommend it is by recommending it to people who have already played the game and understand. However, if you've already played the game, you don't need some random voice telling you why you should play the game. You understand why. But for those of you who haven't played the Beginner's Guide and still wish to continue watching, the meaning of this video probably won't become clear, or won't become clear just yet. But please, be patient with me for just a little while longer. And I promise, eventually, you'll see what makes the game so interesting. So without further ado, let's take a look at The Beginner's Guide by Davey. The best way I can explain The Beginner's Guide is to say it has the look, where for those of you who have played it and have experienced it, you can tell by just how they react. If I were to play this song to a room full of people, just from their faces, you can tell exactly who has played The Beginner's Guide and who hasn't. No words were spoken, no words needed to be spoken, but everyone who knew, without saying a single word, which is why this video is so hard to make. Because everything I'm going to say is very likely something that those of you who have played The Beginner's Guide already know, or have at least thought. However, for those of you who haven't played The Beginner's Guide, explaining why sitting in a cosy, warm, inviting, but ultimately silent train is such a powerful experience is close to impossible without first experiencing it for yourself. But for those of you who have experienced it, you understand. But if you understand, I don't need to explain it to you because you understand. Considering the kind of experience The Beginner's Guide is, perhaps any video made discussing it or playing it is in fact ironic, or even hypocritical of its very nature. What about Davey? What can we say about the man who made this game? Can we say he's the sort of person who would make a game like that? Is Davey the sort of person who would really make a game that shouldn't be discussed? Was that his intention all along? If we compare The Beginner's Guide to his previous work of The Stanley Parable, a game that has nothing but questions, that asks the player to question everything, that has unanswered questions everywhere that you, the player, have to question, what does it say about Davey that his follow-up game was about what it was? What does it say about Davey that after making The Beginner's Guide, he hasn't made a new game since? What if The Beginner's Guide was some sort of cry for help from Davey? I think about that a lot. I wish I could have known Davey at the time he was making The Beginner's Guide. I wish I could have reached out to him and said, I understand the message behind your game. I know what you were trying to say, and I know I can help. Maybe if someone like me could have done something like that, Davey would have released a new game since then. After making The Beginner's Guide, the only game Davey has released since was a remake of his first game, and even that took him 7 years to do so. He even stated he was never making another game like The Beginner's Guide ever again. And honestly, that scares me. Because both The Stanley Parable and the beginner's guide are games that have brought me so much joy. So the fact that Davey just stopped after making the beginner's guide, it made me feel really sad. This is someone I really cared about. This is someone I still really care about. And I get so much enjoyment out of his games, to experience the world that he's created. So for him to become angry and frustrated and not continue creating, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. It made me want to reach out, to tell him that his games were great, to tell him they shouldn't get depressed over the beginner's guide being received the way it did, to tell him that I really loved his games, and that he shouldn't give up on making games, that he should make whatever he wants, and not worry about what others think, because I know whatever he makes, people will love, and he shouldn't feel scared that they won't. Whatever doubts he has in his mind about rejection, I want to tell him that it'll be fine, that he doesn't have to be scared, and that I can't wait for his next game because I know people will love it. And he doesn't need to be scared. He doesn't need to be scared his game isn't going to be well received, which is when I had the idea to create this video, because I realised I could help, that maybe somehow by making a random little video on the internet talking about the beginner's guide, and by bringing attention to Davey's games, and by all of you playing and sharing this video with your friends, somehow someone will know someone who knows someone, and this video will reach Davey, and he'll see it. Because I don't think it would ever occur to Davey to start actively soliciting feedback. So what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? If he sees all the amazing comments telling how much he's loved on this video, would that give him confidence in himself? Would that bring back meaning into his work? Because it's the thing I always feel like I need. That's why I create videos. That's why I make videos at all. That's why I do what I do. Because I need to be told that my work is good. That I am good. And when someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I want to give that same feeling back to Davey. I want to help him feel that feeling that everyone needs to feel. I felt like there was this person who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like himself. And I could fix it. I knew I could help. I knew I could give him the same feeling that makes me feel good. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. Because whenever I was feeling down, I knew I could play one of his games, and it would help. And I want others to be able to experience that. I want others to be able to find your games, Davey, and feel that element you put into your games that make everything feel as if it's going to be okay. I want to experience whatever it is you make next, because I want to feel that feeling of whatever it is you managed to elicit from me from playing your games for the first time. I want to experience a new Davey Wreden game. I want to be able to experience a once-in-a-lifetime experience that can never, ever be felt the same way again. I want to feel the magic you put into your games, that you somehow create and can make everything feel as if it's going to be okay. That magic I can never imitate in my own work. So please, Davey, please, I need to feel that spark again. Please start creating again, however experimental. I need to feel inspiration. I need to feel that inspiration to make the kind of work that's out there that you do, the kind of content you do that is amazing, that experimental, amazing content. You don't need to be worried about people understanding it. So please, to anyone watching this, go and buy the beginner's guide. Go and play the beginner's guide. Go and leave a positive review about the beginner's guide. Go and tell Davey how loved he is. Because maybe Davey will see that and see the amazing reviews of his work and want to start creating again. Maybe if he gets enough external validation, he'll realise how amazing his work is and how many people love him and his work. And when he does create that new experience that he does, that new masterpiece, in the way that he does, in the way that only Davey Wreden can, I'll know that in some small way I helped and what I did mattered. And maybe if I just did more when the game first came out. Maybe if I just told more people about it. Maybe if I just left that positive review. Maybe if I shared it enough with my friends. Davey wouldn't become depressed and stopped making games. And so, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Davey. I'm sorry I couldn't see what you're going through. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Davey. Please, Davey. I'm sorry. Please start creating again so I can feel okay with myself. That is why I'm making this video, because your games allow me to feel. Your games allow me to do that. I need to feel okay with myself. I don't want to feel the emptiness that I do. So please, create a masterpiece. Create a new game that I can feel okay after playing. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all of you watching. Because I know I said this was going to be a video taking a deeper look at the beginner's guide. But I don't know how to do that. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to do what Davey does. So I'm sorry. I don't have the answers. I don't have the power he does. So I'm just gonna, yeah.